the Self Podcast. I'm delighted to welcome Matt, the bass player with the Risen Dread, and Marco, the singer with the Risen Dread. How are you, lads?
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good.
How's it going, man?
Yeah,
Happy
thanks for coming on the show, lads. Things are looking up. Things are looking up.
Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, it's weird. It's been very weird.
It's been a struggle, to put it mildly, but I mean, we have gigs now back. Shout out to Bad Reputation down in Limerick. They've had a second gig on for the second weekend in a row. They had Tombs and Hashmaker playing there and went off without any hitch. That's great.
Fair play to them. I mean, the Limerick scene is surprisingly good.
Yeah.
Like, I know they've got the Siege and everything down there, but the actual bands in there are fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great stronghold. And actually, the Siege, there you go now, is actually going ahead as well. Which cut us all on
I've seen that. I wasn't expecting that. I'm fucking delighted to see that back.
Yeah.
Have any of you gone down there before?
I was supposed to go last year with my friend Ocean. He's living down in Limerick stuff, but COVID.
Okay, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, I think we're all talking about like going like in the last edition, but kind of like it's just like we are glad that everything is coming back. Like we are going to be able to play live soon, and like just to see all the bands like with new materials and things like that, and just like to see the audience there and play and have that connection again. With
and that
like,
feeling of offloading a van with gear.
Yeah, and that smell of beer,
and fans. Remember them?
Yeah, remember mosh pits. Like, I missed that.
We haven't got as far as the mosh pits yet, unfortunately, but we're getting there. I mean, as I said, we watched Zealot Cult and Brigante there the other night, and it was just sitting around on bar stools, but still it was fucking great,
it was
man.
Something to do.
Yeah. It's the beginning.
Now, I didn't have time to check, so maybe you can tell me. I saw ye down in Cork. Was Four Not playing as well?
I don't think it was Four Not. It was ourselves and the boys from...
Following the Signs.
Follow the Signs. Why couldn't I remember that? I could tell you everyone in the band's name.
You just suffered a brain fart,
with Nolan Dant. That was actually our first gig.
That was the first gig.
There you go,
as a band, that was our first gig, and since then, we've kept up a good relationship with the guys in Following the Signs.
They're fucking sound. Yeah, another band that suffered endless problems trying to find a drummer.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
but especially with the talent of the three of them, it's.
And so that was your first gig. Wow! So I saw your
gig
first
as
gig.
A band. Yeah,
that was
that's mad. I wasn't sure, because I was thinking, was it Urban Assault or one of those? But you did have a serious stage presence that night. I remember watching you, going, "Holy fuck! Like these lads are just hitting the ground running,"
I think kind of like we are so looking forward for the first gig, like Will and I and like Colin, like Matt, all of us, we played with different bands before, and we had like such a strong connection when you were together, and kind of like we went there, go to Cork and everything, and kind of talked to the lads, and like we were just like waiting for that, and it was such a nice gig and everything. So. Yeah, it was the first one, man. But it's funny. It's funny that kind of like was the first one as a band. But like as I said, like Will and I, we used to play back in Brazil like since we were like 14, 15. I think my first band was 14 back there. And
what part of Brazil, Marco?
So my city is kind of like in the countryside of São Paulo state. So like it's called Americana, but Will, he was from São Paulo city. So it's funny that when we talk, we play like in similar venues, but not at the same time. Okay. But especially in São Paulo, because the scene there is huge. And every small gig that you play, like you have like a 200, 300 people capacity because the places are huge, and so like almost 20 million people in the city. So
it's going to be a few rockers dotted the best.
Yeah. But it kind of like we never play exactly in the same festival or with the same bands, but we know a lot of people in common. We play in similar venues, especially in São Paulo. We'll play it a lot in the Northwest with his old band as well. And yeah, but it's just funny that kind of like, yeah, I play there. Yeah, when? And then we're like, oh no, different band. Okay. So many bands there.
And did you move over to Dublin in the same year, or was it like, well, how did you find each other?
No, I moved to Dublin like 10 years ago. And then my last band in Brazil was a Pantera cover band. And then
no wonder I can feel in your singing.
Thank you. I'm glad you said that. But actually, Colum messaged me once because I post like something in the Arch Metal group in the past that I was looking for a band, and then Colum invited me for a Linkin Park tribute band that he was putting together at the time, and I was like, yeah, it's not much my thing, like thanks. And then after that, he knew Will like before, like from another band.
They were in a band together.
They're in a band together before that, right?
Jesus.
And then and then they contacted me. I was like, hey man, do you want to just to try? And then I think I sang like Domination in my audition, let's say,
right,
and then one song that I wrote that is in the album. That's kind of like there's a long story about the song, and then the guy's like, yeah, I think you can sing. And then we found this lad a couple of months later, and so like a Colum Will, they knew each other before, yeah.
But you're seriously playing down the fucking fact that yourself and Will ended up in Dublin together.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
What was that conversation like?
We'll move to Dublin like 5 years ago.
They spoke Portuguese, so we didn't get any info from their conversation.
It's fun. It was pretty much like all my conversation, like until the day that I went there, was with Colum. So I didn't know about like it was like, oh, we have a guitarist, and then I arrived there, and I was like, oh, I know this accent. It was like, where are you from, mate? And it was like, Brazil. I was like, oh, okay. And then we just click, like we support the same football team, like it was easy.
Man, that's mental.
It's mental, yeah. Such a small place, Dublin.
Matt, what about you? Were you in cover bands and stuff?
Yeah, I've kind of, when I was about 14, 15, I had a crappy little guitar, and a few friends wanted to start a band, and they were much better at guitar than I was.
Right.
So I said, oh, I'm getting a bass for Christmas. And so I just got a bass so I could play music with friends. I think I was 14, 15, and then kept playing bass. And then I was a session musician briefly, and that ended very poorly.
Okay.
And I stopped playing music completely for about 3-4 years.
Right.
And I got a car and decided I kind of want to play music again. So I went onto the page. This was in early February, late January, and I seen a post that from November, Irish metal band looking for a bassist. So I reached out. It ended up being Colum. Met for a practice a few nights later, and that was that.
Wow.
They've tolerated me ever since.
Oh, well.
And the title, The Risen Dread, was that Colum's title? Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of like pretty much when we were talking about the name and the theme that we wanted, like for the first album, and the way that I was writing like the lyrics for the tracks and everything. So then we are like just trying to come up with a name, and then we start talking like, oh, maybe we should try to get some like short name because it's easier to get, something. And then Colum come up with the name like just as a reference of this kind of like that dread that you have sometimes, like without knowing how and why, and that kind of like a match with like the team for like our EP, and coming out with the album, we're following like the same team, like about like a mental illness and everything, the way that you're writing, and then but like he come up with a name, like we were trying something shorter, and then we was like, oh, that actually sounds good, like let's go.
but the fact that Matt
has got the name,
but the fact that you've fucking shaven off the dreadlocks now, that kind of fucks up the image to some degree, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. That's my wife's fault. That's my wife's fault. I decided to brush them out, get the long hair again, and with dreadlocks you're supposed to cut into the dread, and Katie cut up, so I ended up with a bald spot in the back of my head. And this
Would
is
you
after
believe
about,
I had dreadlocks before? That's a long time ago, man, in
I missed them.
Holland.
I missed
Did
the
ya?
long hair.
Don't fucking miss them in the slightest.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just want to congratulate you there on White Knight. Fucking hell.
Thank you.
This came out of the blue and with Andreas Gisser, one of my all-time heroes.
I've
Oh, man.
been like a giddy child. Like I've told my wife about it, and I like told my parents, and trying to explain to my dad, who's a big like AC/DC and Whitesnake fan, like who Kisser is and like what he means to the metal scene, but
Yeah.
especially like the Brazilian scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like trying to explain
It's-
to my dad. My dad just like, he's no Angus Young.
I was just going to say it. He's going to name Angus Young. Fucking idiot.
I was like, come on, yeah. It's still like a bit of unreal, like what happened and how it happens. Like it's just the whole story, like how Andreas got involved in the album. Like was such like literally a gift for us. Like we have to thank our friend Renato Zanuto, that is a conductor from the Dynamic Orchestra, that he's also in the album doing
Yes,
some
he's
orchestra.
another guest. Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
that.
So he's a longtime friend from Brazil. So he's the conductor from this orchestra in Brazil, and he worked in the last 3 Sepultura albums. So the
that's right.
Mediator, the Machine Messiah, and the Quadra. So
Quadra.
there are like a couple of tracks that he did the orchestra arrangements, and he plays with Kisser Clan. That is the Andreas Kisser solo band with his son, and that's kind of like a cover band that he has in Brazil. Really cool.
They're a lot of
And-
fun.
They're a
I've
lot of
actually
fun, yeah.
never heard of them, though.
Oh no, check them out.
Yeah.
They're a lot of fun.
Wow.
It's cool, like, and Kisser's son, like Johan, he's another machine. Like the kid plays just like his father.
Wow.
And it was my birthday last year and in November, and then Andreas was at Renato's house in São Paulo, and my friend said like, "Hey, I'm gonna send a video to my friend from Ireland, has a band, blah blah blah. Say something here." And it was like, "Oh yeah, sure." And they're like, "Hey, happy birthday, Marco! Yeah, you're recording an album. I'm gonna give you a solo for that album." I was like, "Wait, what?" And like my friend didn't know. My friend looked at him, was like, "Not now because I'm pretty busy now, but I'm gonna record a solo for you." I was like, "All right." And then that was November, and we're supposed to record the album in December last year, and then we postponed like 2 or 3 times, Matt, the album.
Yeah, we had to with everything that was going on. But the
And
crazy
then-
thing was Marco sent the video into the group chat. So Will was losing his shit.
Of course.
And me and Cullum were like, what's going on? Guys, what's going on? Because the whole thing was in Portuguese. And then Marco was just he's giving us a solo. And I was in the middle of work and I literally just went, fuck yeah, yes, this is amazing. And then straight after that happened, a customer walked in and they were like, are you all right? I was like, oh yeah, sorry, something cool happened. And I just can't process it immediately.
Yeah. Like,
It was just
how many weeks did it take for the fucking smile to come off your face with that news?
A long
like that?
time. Trying to explain it to my wife was hilarious.
Yeah.
it kind of like since like, so we're supposed to record the album in December and then didn't work, and then we rescheduled for February or something, and then April, and then at some point like we didn't talk to Andreas since, and then when we decided that we will go to Belfast instead to go to Italy to record, we were like, I talked to Renato because Renato was doing the arrangements for Night Hag, and then it was like, hey man, remember about my birthday gift? Do you think that's still gonna happen? And he was like, oh yeah, it's true, like tell me which track, and then I can talk to Andreas and everything. And then we finished recording 2 days before the schedule. So we finished recording on Friday and we had the studio until Sunday in Belfast. And then we come back, like no word from Andreas. And then Andreas was involved like in so many projects, like during the lockdown, doing the Sepultura, like that, that they released the album that for all of the guests that they have on live stream at Wednesday. And then Will had a backup solo for White Night. And then it was Sunday, the last day. I was queuing to go to IKEA, like hating my life because I had to go there. And then my friend Renato sent me a message. It was like, hey, look what I have. And then I look at it, I was like, I can't believe it.
That's it. Fucking
That's it. Last minute.
Lastminute.com. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
It's just crazy to know that Kisser has listened to our songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's just
It is an amazing thing, lads. I mean, I love the way Renato had your T-shirt on as well in the picture with Andreas as well.
Yeah. I like that picture they took on the album release for. I think it was for Machine Messiah. Yeah, no, it was.
Quattro was last year.
Yeah. And then. Yeah, so they played together, and like Renato was a huge help, and I'm so glad that also Renato is in the album. Like he's a really talented musician, and what he did for Night Hag for the track that he's part of it is amazing. Like and we can't wait to share.
That's the title of the album as well.
Yeah, so kind of like the album is Night Hag, the track The Night Hag. So kind of like all the tracks in the album has a reference for that, because you kind of like it's a concept album, but like all the track has a reference for the Night Hag in the lyrics, and is the last track of the album. So kind of like you have all the orchestra there, the piano and everything is amazing.
Okay, so we'll give a listen there to White Night and. Can you hear it, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Any band that starts off a song with a fucking air siren, I love. Simple as that. Let it be known. Like, it's clear straight away how fucking good the production is on this album. It's going to be special. The song itself, fantastic. You all brought your A game to this. It's a massive leap in standards compared to the EP.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
But the craziest thing about recording this album, for the entire time we were up in Belfast, I had a trapped nerve in my neck, so I could barely move my right arm. So we decided to leave a lot of the bass parts to the last 2 or 3 days just to see if I could get my, movement back. And no improvement. I'm still having issues with it today. And I think I have to do 6 songs in one day.
Yeah.
So after I did that,
Jesus Christ,
I went into the drum isolation booth and lay on the floor and just just had a good cry. Just while
Volunteers.
Josh was in there, just like kind of going through stuff, fixing things up with the track, and Cullen was there, just sitting on the couch, just waiting for like me to be okay.
I think kind of like the whole production, like since the recording with Josh, like Josh was fantastic. Like what a gent,
Amazing.
like pushing us like to the limit. You know, like I was just like recording the vocals, and I used to look at him. I knew when it was good and when it was bad. Like, you know, like you could just like look at his face, and he just like,
Yeah.
you know, well, that was good. And then like all the mixing. The mix and master like done by Cole Keller there in Germany. So like he worked with Aborted like in the last album and everything. So
Crematory, Powerwolf, yeah, he's quite a work with a lot of bands.
He's got
Yeah.
quite
lot
a
of bands,
portfolio
yeah.
built up.
yeah. So it was great. Like I think like it was really good to go there with Josh. Like he literally like pushed us to the limit. Like sometimes you're just like recording a line, he was like, "Hey man, I think you can do better. Let's do it again and again and again." It was like, okay, that's what we want. Like when you have a producer, you know, like want someone like to tell you like, "Hey, that's not gonna work," or like change
Like
this.
there was
because
actually one part in White Knight that, as I was playing it, he was just kind of like 16ths. I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Do it in 16ths." So I did the riff in 16ths, and he just went, "Now play it properly."
Yeah, I'm a massive fan. He knows that. I'm always on this show praising him, man. He's one of the best out there in Ireland.
Yeah, definitely.
As a metal producer, he's fucking great. And why did you go with Kai? Was it through the Wormhole Death? Or how did you select Kai?
His experience.
Yeah, I think kind of like it wasn't like a through them like with Wormhole Death, like we had something like going on to record with them before back there in Italy. So once we couldn't go there, we had like a little bit more freedom to choose that ourselves. And then
and they were
kind of
very understanding about it.
Yeah, and it kind of like we like, of course, we want to go to Italy to record, you know, like just, you know, like stay 1 month in Italy is not bad, but kind of like since everything was canceled during the pandemic, and then every time that we try to reschedule, the dates keep like pushing like away like too much. So like if you haven't recorded with Josh, we have to wait until November this year to start recording, and then. Yeah, since that didn't work, we talked with Carlo back there, and then he was like, "Hey, that's fine." And then like we had more freedom to find the producer and the mastering like ourselves, and then
because was it Carlo originally offered to produce it for you?
It wasn't Carlo. It was what's his name of the lad there? Matt, you remember his name?
In MATLAB Studios.
Yeah, I don't remember his name. Jonathan.
Thank you.
Yes, that's the name. So kind of like Carlo is the owner of the label, and then he was just like, "Okay, guys, like I want you to record it with this producer," and then it didn't work because we're gonna have to wait until November, and you otherwise gonna lose another year, you know, like pretty much not. And then he said it was okay, and then we recorded with Josh, like he told us like how he wants like to be recorded, like few things that they need. And then after that, we had like some kind of like a free card there to choose the guy who will do the mastering. And then like we are looking to Cole Keller there like for a while. And then I was like, hey, looking at all the bands that the guy worked was like, I think he's the guy for the album. And then and then it sounds good.
Fucking right, it does. It sounds amazing. Let's just talk about the artwork as well. Burn Artwork. Is that Alcides?
Yeah.
Is it? How would you pronounce his name?
Yeah, Alcides Burn. Yeah, so is a guy from Brazil. Like
Nervosa, man, fucking Nervosa.
Yeah, he works with a lot of like Brazilian bands and international bands over there. So we worked with him before, and then like he did the art. Like we were talking exactly like how was the concept of the track, like I was talk to him about Gene Jones and Johnstown and everything, and then he also created a lyric video that we're going to release next week, so people understand what I'm singing, and
specifically my wife.
So Alcides is like the great artwork. So we have those cities, and then like a Silent Disease, that is the next single that we're going to release end of October. We have Irish artists who did that, and then for the album we went with Marcelo Vascos. That's the guy who did the art from the EP, and the same guy who did like his Layers last album, Testament.
Yeah.
So
man, that's a no-brainer. Yeah, I'm glad you're sticking with him.
Yeah, it's great.
The video release then, just Zan Inho Discos. Who are they now? They're Brazilian again, are they?
They are, so kind of like Kaká is like acting as our booking agent. So kind of he's looking for our tour right now. Kaká, he's a kind of like a metal underground legend in Brazil. So this guy, he worked with like a Ratos de Porão, that's a kind of like a punk band.
Fucking Ratos, man. There you go. Yeah, nice.
Fucking amazing. And then he had done like so much for the underground in Brazil, and like I was so glad that we are working with the guy. And then he has like the Chaninho Discos, that is pretty much like his company over there. And then, man, the guy is unreal. Like everything that we need, we talked to him. Like he helped us with some PR back there in Brazil. He helped us to get in touch with those producers there that recorded the video clip. So we have that video clip that was recorded with the Caixão. And then we're going to have the second video clip that was recorded with Mayara. That is the singer from Torture Squad, another great Brazilian band, like a thrash metal band.
Okay, cool.
Oh, yeah. And then, so kind of like he knows a lot of people, like put in contact. It was like, hey, we need someone for the video clip. I know someone. You need someone for the art. I know someone. It was like, all right.
That's a fantastic thing to have, Matt, isn't it? Just to have all those connections, because like you're getting an audience in two different parts of the world as well as everything else, you know?
Weird. It's like the fact that the guys are from Brazil as well. Like it's a benefit for us.
Yeah.
And like Brazil with the scene over there, like the way that it is, it's the metalheads' dreamland almost.
Yeah.
Like look at the festivals they have, like Rock am Rio alone. Yeah. So
but
just
I think you know, I don't know about getting you over there or whatever, like, but you'd imagine, just for instance, if there's two lads from Ireland and they're fucking knocking it out of the park with a band that has two members from, we'll say, Mexico, for example, Irish metalheads would take an interest in that band. They would, you know, because there's two lads from Ireland over in Mexico and they're doing really well, for example. So I think you definitely will have an audience in Brazil for this band. Like.
Yeah, it's funny, so. Like when we track like the listeners, especially in Spotify, that you have like the breakdown per country, like in the EP was like we always have like Ireland as like the first second, like, but in the EP at some point we have like so many people like from Brazil, from Mexico, from Argentina, and we had like a wave like from India. And then we have, it was like I think kind of like any country that you have visibility that they love metal, it's good to be there. You know, you never know. Like we have Angra, for example, a Brazilian band. They're always like a bigger in Japan than in Brazil. In Brazil, like most of the people don't know Angra. Like they know because like now Kiko Loureiro is in on Megadeth, but kind of like in Japan, they can't walk in the streets because they used to do like a music for animes over there and everything. And then you have that thing, like it's kind of like regardless, we love to be well known in the Irish scene. And then with the tour coming next year, like here in Europe and everything, but kind of like when you see the big bands playing, when they go to South America, like they record live albums there because the audience is crazy. They can like fill up the stadiums, sold out in 24 hours. I remember buying tickets to go to AC/DC, to go to Metallica in Brazil, Iron Maiden. Those tickets are sold out in like 2-3 hours, like to fill up a stadium. It was insane to get a ticket for that. So anywhere that you have like a metal fan that like, you know, like the music, like we want to be there. It kind of like, you're going to be great to be part of it. And we can't wait to go back to the road.
To hit the road.
Yeah, man, it's just.
Yeah, I mean, talk to me there about what you had planned. You had a European festival planned before this shit knocked us all for 10. What was that like? Where were you hitting?
9 countries in 10 days. So we were
Okay.
hitting London, Amsterdam, Lille, Zurich, hitting
Surely Germany. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to hit Germany. Like.
Budapest. We had Poland.
Oh, wow.
2 places in Czech Republic.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of everything was booked.
I think we had Ukraine as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, was that through Wormhole Debt? Was there Wormhole Debt bands going to be on on those bills?
That was before.
Oh, right.
Was
Okay.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So kind of like we were checking like the bands that would tour with us. So like at the beginning was Malevolent Creation, and then we had another band from Spain that was
Straight
kind
Valley.
of like
Yeah, they're brilliant.
and then it kind of like it was everything was ready. It was pretty much like we had to cancel. It was April last year, so we had to cancel everything. Like all the venues are booked, all like the van and like the tickets to go to UK first. So UK was a festival, and it was a kind of like a festival with like other 8 bands. And then other than that, we were just playing some like a metal venues over there. And yeah, it was just like we try like to keep everything booked until like the last minute because we didn't know like we're still trying to understand how the pandemic would affect us. And then at some point like Germany closed the borders, and then Czech Republic, and then like France,
Poland,
and then all the countries
day,
like,
yeah.
And
House of Cards. Yeah. You're still on the Clang bill.
Yes. Can't wait for that.
That will be to a crowd.
Yeah.
That would be great.
So, yeah.
I can't wait for that gig.
Yeah. It's just it kind of like you have some band like Candlemass Corner there. Like I've seen Corner at Grass Pop a few years ago, and we were just like the guys live. They're so great, like amazing.
I've never seen them. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of nearly all the bands. The only one band there that I didn't know too much about was Green Lung, and they had just leveled the Bloodstock.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I mean that to me is like this is going to be interesting to watch these lads play as well. So I had Rob on the show, man, a few months back. Lovely dude. So
I watched it. Really fucking nice guy.
Yeah, he's a fan. Like, you know, I mean, first and foremost, that's what came across to me more than anything else. He's not a dude that came out out of nowhere and is trying to make money out of this. He's a fan first and foremost, you know. So
yeah.
So that's the Clang Festival. What about Wormhole Debt Records, Carlo there? How did they become interested in you?
I think it was something from Matt. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if I remember that well, it was pretty much like the girl that was like that helped us with the previous tour that introduced us to Carlo. Maggie, so like she was like promoting the main gig in London. That was the festival, and then like I think like she shared the contact with Carlo at the time, and then Carlo started talking, like it was talking to Will and Colin, and then just trying to get the dates, and then Carlo explained like how he picked the bands and like how he produced the bands and things like that. But if I'm not wrong, I think it was Maggie who introduced us to Carlo.
Yeah, it was.
It was, right? Yeah. and then like the way that Maggie contacted us, I can't even remember because I think like it was right after we released the lyric video for Revelations. And then she saw that and messaged us on Instagram, and then we start talking, and then she said like, hey, I kind of like I booked some gigs and everything. I'm here in Mexico, but we have a festival in UK, and I think she shared our contact with Carlo and then present the band to Carlo. So that's how he found us.
Man.
And it was everything like that happened like during pandemic. So kind of like we signed the contract during pandemic. So was
and he has yet to see you play live, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think he saw the video that we play at Metal to the Masses.
Yeah,
that was recorded. Yeah. And then I think that was the only video that he saw us like playing live.
And I noticed as well, because when I saw you live, I thought, Jesus, very, very tight section. You're a great frontman, Marco. You command the stage fucking like a beast. back and forth. You are watching the front man, which is what you want. For me anyway, I like watching the front man. So you had this kind of outfit. You were all wearing black with the sign for Risen Dread, I presume.
Yeah, the logo.
It's a logo, yeah. And then
I actually got it tattooed on me.
I then saw that you've gone from going all black to now white.
Not all white.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to count the jocks, whatever jocks you're going to be wearing, whatever.
They were red.
This is interesting.
It's kind of like when we were talking about the whole idea of the album and like all the team about mental illness and things like that. So kind of like there are a few pictures that you can see, especially in the Spotify, that I'm with the straight jacket and everything. So you want to bring that kind of like a feeling of a, like asylum or something, and like the people that work in the asylum, like a uniform. Yeah. So just to keep in the team. So like when we were talking to Olga, that took that
shout out to Olga,
pictures.
Great photographer.
Olga, amazing
great
photographer.
person. She was nothing but lovely the whole way through, and like really put the effort in to work with us, not for us, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
Like just pleasant to deal with.
Yeah. And they recorded our third video clip as well. Like, so the third single that we're gonna Sound of the Unknown, like they recorded the video clip as well. So kind of when you're pitching the idea about the whole team, the album, so then we thought like maybe putting the white, like just to give that kind of like a hospital vibe or something like that.
You do pick it up on the pictures.
And then with the straight jacket that was maybe too small for me, that we had to make some adjustments to take the pictures.
A little small.
Now to see one of those guys that deliberately wears smaller t-shirts just to show off the torso.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Make sure that the sleeves are that bit tighter.
But that was just to be on the team, like, so you want to bring like the vibe for that. We still don't know like how we're gonna perform, if you're gonna keep like the white or the black, or if you're gonna mix and match. But
that
like
would be too weird to have two of you in white and two of you in black now.
Yeah.
That would be just
like a domino thing, like,
yeah, it would fuck things up, man.
No,
so the themes of the album is mental illness, is it anxiety? What are they?
Yeah, so kind of like
just mental health issues in general.
Health, yeah. Okay, right.
Yeah, so basically all the tracks except White Knight. But White Knight, we are talking about Jim Jones, that he had a lot of mental issues as well. Yeah. And then Lazaretto, that is about the doctor of Poveglia. But kind of like it was a madhouse that happened there in the island after a while. But like everything else is related to mental illness. So we have Sound of the Unknown, that is the next single, that's about depression. We have Silent Disease, that is about depression. We have Sound of the Unknown, that's about dementia. We have a track about OCD. We have a track about Cotter delusion. That's something that like is a really fucked up condition that gladly not many people have.
Okay.
And so we are all in the team. So pretty much like that's the connection in the album. So it's either about mental illness or any kind of like a historical figure with like a mental illness. So that was the theme in the album.
And Night Hag, that song itself?
Night Hag is my baby. Yeah, Night Hag is about sleep paralysis, which I suffer of sleep paralysis. Like I have a lot, and so it's funny that Night Hag was the first song that I wrote for the band, and then the one in the audition. But then we changed completely. Like I changed completely the lyrics after that. So Night Hag is kind of like one of the figures that you see when you're having sleep paralysis. So like a few people, they describe that in a different way. Like very often people just say it's kind of like a shade in the shape of kind of like a woman. So that's why they call like a night hag or the nightmare. That's why the word nightmare comes from, because of the sleep paralysis, the nightmare. And then and that's kind of like the connection. So every time that you listen to the songs that we say like she is watching you, she'll be around, that's a reference to the night hag. So and that's kind of like a sleep paralysis kind of like a condition. Like most of the people, they're gonna have once in a lifetime, but like people that they have the conditions like myself, sometimes I have like 2 or 3 times per week. and it's not very pleasant. So I try to get like use the trauma to get something out of it, and hopefully more people can relate, because after I start talking about sleep paralysis, someone tell me like, hey, I had that too. I didn't know there is a name for it. It was like, yep, there is a.
And is it, Marco, like, can you play guitar yourself? Is it just lyrics you're concentrating on, or can you play?
I can't play anything. It's just so like the whole process when
the
guys are creating.
You've writing credits for the album, guitar playing and drums and bass.
Oh yeah, well that's true. I play a little something, like I play a little bit of drum, guitar and bass in the album, like one note each. So I can just I can be credited that I played something. No, I'm kidding, but I did. But no. So like the lads normally they're creating the music. So I'm there. Like maybe I say like, hey guys, the chorus is too long, or kind of this intro is, But then after I write the lyrics afterwards, like it would be easier if I play something like, but it works that way. It normally takes a while for me to write the lyrics, because I like to do a research. Like for White Knight, I probably watch like all the documentaries about Jim Jones and Jonestown, and like all the CIA files. Like sometimes they are boring, but then
I love
the guys.
I love the fact that you can go in that deep. Yeah, respect.
Yeah. Thank you. And then but in the meantime, the lads were like, "Hey, you have the lyrics?" It was like, man, start another track. Like I need 1 month to finish this. Right?
Of course, like I mean, yeah. It's just like you have like it'll probably be 4 or 5 pages of lyrics, and trying to chop them down to literally to time it right with the song. So. Yeah, I mean, like if you're in a stoner band, it would be perfect, because fucking songs are like 15 minutes long, So
that's true. It's funny that like a column was like I think there's one track that I didn't write in the album, that's Fallen, that we re-record from the album, that is heavy as fuck for this version. Yeah, that's heavy. And then Colin wrote the lyrics for that one, and then I remember when I joined the band, and then like we were just like playing, and then like, hey, let's finish this session here. It was like, what are you talking about? It was like, no, let's finish the lyrics like now. I was like, I can't. I was like, I can't. I need kind of like I write songs like between like 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. like no noise. Like I can't.
You have a process.
Yeah.
Just the process, and pretty much what you said. Like I end up with like 5 pages, and then just. Like it started getting shorter and shorter until you have the track, but it takes a while. Yeah.
Do you enjoy it?
I do. It's kind of like it's weird that like since we finished recording, I have so much like free time now during the evenings that I don't know what to do. It's just
You've been making cocktails. That's what you've been doing.
I make cocktails. Yeah, I do.
Oh, there you go, man. Next time I'm in Dublin,
come here to the bar.
That sounds a great invite. Matt, did you purchase anything over lockdown, equipment wise?
Not actually. Yeah, I picked up a new bass head and a new amp, and then about 2 weeks after I bought it, we all decided to go with in-ears. So it's pretty much been sitting in the corner, and the bass has been going into a pedal, and then into the output, into an input. Through the computer. So the amp has kind of just been sitting in the corner.
It'll get to see the light of day. Merchandising, who did you go with, or can you tell us anything about that yet?
It's coming. So we are just finishing like all the art. So we are designing like what you're gonna put in the back, and like a t-shirt, hoodies, and everything. So we're gonna. It's coming soon. So
I know you've a peak tat on sale. Is it at the moment?
That was just a mock-up that someone did for us. We got the shirts embroidered for the gigs, and the guy who did that was like, that could look cool on a hat, so we just threw it onto a hat. And gave it to Will. I was like, I thought this would look cool.
So kind of like what we have already that we're going to put in the store is kind of like the t-shirt with the symbol, and we have some We have some. What do we have, Matt?
Got some tank tops.
Yeah, I have some tank tops. Yeah.
Okay.
With the Night Hag art. But there's still a possibility that we do a 4th video clip for Night Hag, and then we probably gonna do a different art for that. So like that's why we're still holding a little bit. So when you send everything like for the merchandise, we have like all the arts lined up. So, but like the art for White Knight is brilliant. Like for Silent Disease is beautiful. Like for the album. So we already have something to start. But yeah, it's coming soon. You're just like deciding what and where to put like in the hoodies and t-shirts and everything.
Yeah, and who's the strongest for that? Who would be the most creative dealing with merch and stuff in the band? Would it be you, Matt, or Mark, or
Cullum, drummer boy is like kind of how to describe it. Like Marco's the face of the band. It's really good looking.
Yeah.
Cullum's realistically, Cullum's like the heart behind it. Like he's the one who he's so much passion. Like he's an amazing musician. Everything in it. Will's the brain, and I'm the appendix. You know, I'm there, but I might not be needed.
You do need the appendix.
They don't respect us bass players, Matt. That's the fucking problem.
Don't say that, Matt.
Yeah, like Cullum, he really puts his heart and fucking soul into this band.
Yeah, you can pick that up, no doubt about it, through all the posts and stuff as well, which I love. Actually, you're very good on social media. Someone has to fucking do that horrible job, and it is a fucking nightmare at the best of times. So, what time frame are we looking at then? So you've got a single coming out, you think, at the end of October. So we're looking at an early 2022 release for me. Would that be fair enough? Brilliant.
Yeah. So that's kind of like what we're aiming for the album. So mid-January next year. And so Silent Disease, if I'm not wrong, is coming out. Yeah, October 29th is the video clip and the single on all the digital platforms. And then we have Sound of the Unknown. That's going to be in November. And then pending if you're going to release Night Hag as a single as well, because we want to record a video clip and then the full album in January, and possible touring in April,
March, May.
Yeah,
if Andreas will join you as the second guitarist, yeah.
We'll see. We'll see.
You know, like he has to like do an audition first, but
see how it goes.
Yeah,
it sounds promising.
Yeah, because I mean that's something you have to think about as well. Are you going to continue as a 4-piece, or live? Are you going to add an additional member for touring purposes?
Yeah, it kind of like we had this conversation a few times. I think like for now, we play as for like 4-piece before. I think like now with the tracks that we have. Did you play Cork
as a 4-piece?
Yeah,
I think you did.
A 4-piece, yeah,
that's right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
sounded grand, man.
Yeah, and our first gig in Fibbers and Minute, we were 4 pieces then. We've only ever played live once as a 5-piece, and that was Metal for the Masses.
Okay.
But kind of since we dropped back to a 4-piece, the bass has been picking up a lot more of the schlack.
Good.
So I've been playing a lot more rhythm, which has been a lot more fun.
Yes, of course, yeah. So that's it. So at the moment you're staying as a 4-piece, and live you're just going to have to adapt with the new songs.
It's kind of like that's how we've been practicing before for the recording and everything. So the recording, you have the ability like to record like many like a guitar tracks over there, but kind of like for live, it's pretty much like we are just thinking. Every time that you get someone new in the band, you have that process, like they have to pick up the songs, and then like you have to see if it's a good match, if they're
personalities come into it and everything,
everything. So like for now we're staying as a 4-piece, and then if we need like for some reason like we can see if Andreas wants to be part of it. I think he's going to be touring as well. I don't think
we'll see. Like he's got the references, but we'd need to meet him.
Yeah, I think that'd be just get on to Renato again, see what the story is.
Oh man, I still can't believe that.
And it's
Oh, really?
brilliant. So listen, lads, I'm going to leave you go. Matt and Marco, absolutely wish you nothing but the best. You have
Thanking you.
released a
Thanks so much, man.
fantastic single, man. It's blown me away now, and I hope it gets to as many people as it deserves, and look forward to the next few releases.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Thanks so much. Thanks so
Yeah.
much, man, and for having us. And we can't wait to go back to stage and see like the Irish audience, and then just to share the music with everyone.
Cannot wait
Thanks
to
so
get
much
on
for
that
that.
grind
And
stage.
get your asses down to Cork sooner rather than later.
We will. We will.
Yeah.
We'll win.
And shout out also to Colum and Will, who couldn't make it tonight. Yeah. Okay. Support your local
Cheers, man.
the scene. If you like the show, subscribe to it. You can listen to Matt and Marco from the Risen Dread. Cheers, lads.
See ya.
Zed it.
Cool.